Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here, coming at you with a World War One autograph episode, the first of the new year, and the first in the, I guess we can call it the second season because the first season was like 2 years running. So I picked up a few things that I wanted to share with you, all for pretty decent prices. I don't think anything here was more than $15 with shipping and all that. So, which is kind of hard to find, honestly, for stuff this old. Usually, I follow a search on eBay, World War One autographs, and I'll get an email every day. Sometimes it's kind of annoying, but I'll check it every now and then. And every now and then there's some that pops up. Some of them 99 cents, and you can get lucky and get those for 99 cents. Sometimes, if they're way up there, thousands of dollars for really famous people during that time. But I've been able to be lucky to find a few deals on there, and it's been a lot of fun. And I like being able to put these together and come here and not only share the stories of these people with you, but also I get to learn because I do a little bit like on their eBay listing. Usually they put a little bit about the person, but I don't really know so much about them. So this is my chance and your chance to learn about them and about their service and everything. So the good or the bad. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this first episode of 2022. And we will add some more items to the World War One collection that's filling up pretty nicely. So, this first one is kind of an autograph. Don't necessarily know who the person is, but it's a World War One related letter that I thought was cool. So this is coming from the Vigilantes, and Vigilantes were a patriotic group they put out pamphlets and newspapers and stuff to try and get engagement for the war. We will quickly go over to their Wikipedia page here in a little bit, but this letter looks like it's signed by maybe a Charles J. Rombolt or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. It's written to another Charles Mercer Hall, Esquire, the manor at Albemarle Park, Asheville, North Carolina. It says, "Dear Mr. Hall, we will be very glad to go over any manuscripts you may wish to put out and to return them to you for the purpose you mentioned." I'm not entirely sure what that is, but most likely he was probably a writer for them. We quite approve of your works in this local manner, which is often more efficient than it could be if it were made for general application. Sincerely yours, and then Charles J. Rosenbald, or something, managing editor. So maybe we can find out information on him if he sign that. And that's dated from June 20th, 1918, so near the end of the war, but still going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at their Wikipedia page. Alright, so here's the Vigilantes. It's not very large, but so the Vigilantes were a 20th century American publishing syndicate. Their pamphlets and newspapers were distributed with the intention of inspiring patriotism and Allied involvement in World War I. The membership was largely composed of men who dominated its leadership, though much of the content was produced by women and appeared pseudonymously, I've never seen that word before, as the work of the Vigilantes. A contemporary review noted the breathless cries of song wrung mostly from the hearts of our women. So, it was probably, a lot of it was funded and maybe run at the top by men, but for the most part, this was, coming from women who wanted, hopefully, the help. So, that's pretty cool. The preface to a poetry anthology published at Vigilantes Books is called Fifes and Drums, a collection of poems of America at war. So they're written under the immediate stress of great events by those who have banded themselves together under the name of the Vigilantes, furnish a striking record of the emotional reactions of the American people during the fortnight preceding and the 6 weeks following the declaration of war. So, pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty neat piece to pick up. I don't remember how much I paid for that, but I had to get it. I was like, this would look cool. So So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go to our next person. All right, the next person I picked up an autograph from is George Auguste Matil. He was a major in the 24th U.S. Infantry. Was born in 1884, passed away in 1966. He served with John J. Pershing in France, and he was later a professor of military science and tactics at the Maryland State College of Agriculture, and is the son of Brigadier General Leon A. Matil and grandson of one of Sherman's Civil War cavalry majors, George A. Matil. So here is the letter from him. And so at the time he was a second lieutenant. And then we got a second autograph. It's a receipt for miscellaneous collections for overpayment of retired pay. $18.06 back in 1948. So we have two autographs. We have a signed letter, and looks like we have a signed by Colonel C.B. Lanau. So that's pretty cool. So that's not his signature. So we actually got two people here. So that's pretty cool. We'll check $18.06, overpayment of retirement. But the letter says the detachment commander directs that you explain by endorsement hereon your absence from the postgraduate school held at 3 p.m. October 1st, 1913. That's from J.W. Boyd, First Lieutenant. So they're wondering, where were you? The adjutant, 24th Infantry, notified me by phone yesterday at about 2:10 p.m. that the session of the postgraduate school will be held at 3 p.m. that afternoon. I imparted this fact to Major Bucky, who directed me to remain in this office and not to report at the 24th Infantry camp for school, as he desired me to finish certain important work. He stated that my absence would be accounted for by him. So, it's almost like a text message. Where were you? I was held up at work, you know. Either way, kind of funny, kind of cool. Here is his picture and some info about him. I like buying from the seller because they always include these. Makes it easier for me. I don't have to print out a bunch of stuff. Actually, I guess so. It says a document signed twice, which is the first one. He was in Fort Mills in the Philippines at the time. And here's also just a picture of a newspaper clipping. So, pretty cool. And he made professor. So that's pretty awesome. So that's pretty cool. Mr. George Auguste Matil passed away in 1966. You can add that one to the collection. Next autograph. There wasn't a Wikipedia page for him, by the way. Next autograph is going to be Robert Lee Bullard, Major General during World War One. He signed this index card here. We will go ahead and take a look at his Wikipedia page and some pictures. Alright, so Lieutenant General Robert Lee Bullard was born January 5th, 1861, passed away on September 11th, 1947. He was a senior officer of the United States Army. He was involved in conflicts in the American Western Frontier, the Philippines, and World War I, where he commanded the 1st Infantry Division, nicknamed the Big Red One, during the Battle of Cantigny. While serving on the Western Front, he later was an administrator in Cuba. So he saw some stuff. So he was fighting out. He had been fighting Indians. Probably, well, it doesn't say he fought in the Spanish-American War, but I guess it's possible. The Philippines, when there was insurrection there, in World War I. So he was a native of Alabama. Attended the Agriculture and Mechanical College of Alabama, now also known as Auburn University. in the United States Military Academy. He graduated 27th in a class of 39 in 1885. He has a lot of famous classmates here. Beaumont B. Buck, Joseph E. Kuhn, Henry P. McCain. Let's look at their pictures too. That guy doesn't have one. Robert Mitchie, George W. Burr, John D. Barrett, John M. Carson Jr., Robert A. Brown, Charles H. Muir, William F. Martin, Jano B. DeVore, and Willard A. Holbrook. And he was later promoted to first lieutenant in 1892 during the Spanish-American War. So yes, he did serve. That's why I figured he had to. In the Philippines from 1902 to 1904. And he's part of the Bullard's Indians. The 39th Volunteer Infantry was a unit of the United States Volunteers raised to fight in the Philippine-American War. Bullard was promoted to colonel and given command of the unit. It was nicknamed the Bullard's Indians due to the type of tactics the unit employed. So he probably learned some of that fighting in Western America. After the American entry into World War I in April 1917, Bullard was quickly promoted to Brigadier General and Major General in the National Army. He took over command of the 1st Infantry Division, or Big Red 1, from William L. Siebert, holding this post from December 1917 to July 1918. The division was then serving in France as part of the American Expeditionary Forces, commanded by General John J. Pershing. So there's another connection to Mr. Pershing. He led his division in the Battle of Cantigny, and captured the village of Cantigny, which is in France. It had been held by the German 18th Army and a site of a German advanced observation point and strongly fortified. This was the first sustained American offensive of the war. It was considered a success and then expanded the American front by about a mile. General Pershing said of the attack. So wow. Yeah, back then it was, World War I was known as a war of feet because they were just fighting for every inch. And it was slow going. So, pretty cool. Here we got all his awards. There's his ranks. It's a lot of stuff from Mr. Bullard. It's pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty interesting one to get. And last one for the day. We'll go ahead and go over to that. Alright, the next autograph we have is General Clarence R. Edwards. There's a signed cut piece of a letter here. So C.R. Edwards. Here's a picture they included so I can save money, don't have to print out a picture, which is always nice. So there's Mr. Edwards there. And also I thought it was pretty cool because they put a lot of effort into their letter of authenticity, I thought. So I'll keep it just for the heck of it, but I just thought that was kind of cool. So let's go ahead and learn about Mr. Clarence Edwards. Alright, Major General Clarence Ransom Edwards was born January 1st, New Year's baby, in 1859. Passed away on February 14th, 1931. He was a senior United States Army officer, known as the first Chief of the Bureau of Insular Affairs and commander of the 26th Division in World War I. He was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and was the son of a local merchant named William Edwards and Lucia Ransom. So it's kind of cool that they took her maiden name and made it his middle name. He graduated from the United States Military Academy in 1883 and was ranked last in his class, 52nd of 52. So even though he was considered, I guess, last, he rose to a high position. So that's pretty cool, coming over adversity there. Upon his graduation from West Point, Edwards was appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Army Infantry Branch, serving with the 23rd Infantry Regiment. For the next several years, Edwards served at various posts, including Fort Union, which is in New Mexico, Fort Porter, which is in New York, and also in Cleveland, Ohio, commanding the guard at the tomb of the President Garfield. That's pretty cool. And Fort Davis, which is in Texas. That one I knew, but I wanted to show you. While stationed at Fort Porter, he met Bessie Rochester Porter, a member of the family that included Peter Buell Porter, for whom the fort was named, and they were married in 1889. So that's pretty cool. He got to meet his wife where he was stationed. He was promoted to the first lieutenant on February 25th, 1891, while serving on detached service as professor of military science and tactics. So, hey, we saw that title just a little bit ago with our first autograph we showed. Well, first technical autograph. That wasn't the Vigilante's letter. He fought in the Spanish-American War and the Philippines as well. So we have an ongoing theme here with everybody all fighting in the same wars. He moved his regiment to New Orleans to be closer to during the Spanish-American War. In 1898, he was given the rank of major, so now he was a major. And later was assigned Adjutant General of the 4th Army Corps at Mobile, Alabama, and in Tampa and Huntsville. In 1899, he was appointed Adjutant General on General H.W. Lawton's staff, accompanied him to the Philippines. He participated in all Lawton's campaigns in the Philippines, including the Battle of Santa Cruz and the Battle of Zapote Bridge. Those are some pretty famous battles there. Edward received 3 Silver Citation Stars for gallantry in action during these campaigns. Lawton was killed in the Battle of Pay in December 1899, and Edwards accompanied his remains to Washington, D.C. for burial. So after getting back from there, they made him the Chief of the Division of Customs and Insular Affairs in the War Department. He's later promoted to Colonel. 1902. He also looks like he was involved in the Mexican Revolution in 1913. He's moved to Texas City, Texas. And here's World War I. Upon the outbreak of World War I, Edwards was placed in charge of the Department of the Northeast, comprising all the New England states. In August 1917, 4 months after the American entry into the war, he was promoted to the rank of Major General in the National Army and given the task of organizing the 26th Division. The division was an Army National Guard formation and arrived on the Western Front, the main theater of the war. In September 1917, the first complete American division to do so, the 26th Division also became the first complete American division to go into combat at Camino des Dames. I don't know how to speak French. In February 1918, where they remained for 46 days. Going back to his days at West Point, Edwards had earned a reputation for being a sharp-tongued and conscientious. General John Joseph Blackjack Pershing, there's another connection to John Pershing, all of these guys so far, Commander-in-Chief of the American Expeditionary Force on the Western Front in particular, despised him. Edwards made another enemy in Major General Robert Lee Bullard. Hey, isn't that quite something? We got him. During the 26th Division's relief of Bullard's 1st Division near Toul in April 1918, Edwards found fault with everything he saw and accused the 1st Division of leaving behind classified documents. Bullard was enraged by General Pershing, always favored the 1st Division, and reassured him, and nothing came of the incident. In July 1918, during the Second Battle of the Marne, the 1st Corps commander, Major General Hunter Liggett, found that although the 26th Division did not lack for heroism and fought valiantly, he could not depend on its commanders, especially Edwards, to subjugate his unit to regular Army divisions. So regular Army, they're known as Continental Army, way back when during the Revolution. Edwards' final demise came in October 1918 when he reported an incident to Liggett involving information 2 of his soldiers had obtained from German soldiers with whom they had been fraternizing. The Germans had expressed their belief that the war would be over soon and that they were reluctant to continue fighting. While Edwards thought he was reporting the enemy's poor morale to Liggett, he instead gave Liggett an excuse to get rid of Edwards for his zeal in supporting the National Guard. Liggett reported the incident to the AEF commander, General Pershing, who took the opportunity to act on his personal vendetta and relieve Edwards of his command. The successor was Brigadier General Frank E. Bamford, formerly the commander of the 1st Division's 2nd Brigade. World War I came to an end soon afterwards, on November 11, 1918, due to the armistice with Germany. So, was Mr. Edwards right? You guys be the judge. But it's kind of cool that, I did not plan this, by the way, that we have connection to Robert Bullard, and we have connection to John Pershing on all 3 of these signatures. And they're all in the same house, so that was pretty cool. So he was later based in Camp Taylor, Kentucky after the war, and then when did he retire? Looks like his wife passed away in 1929. He would soon pass away a couple years later. So about 1926 maybe is when he started to retire. So that is Mr. Clarence Ransom Edwards. So I hope you all enjoyed this pretty cool history lesson and some autographs here. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. I know this is kind of a niche kind of thing that only a few people really are interested in, but it's something I do enjoy doing, and having a wide variety of content for you to watch on this channel. Not just be simply TTMs or simply cards. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and hope you have a great day and awesome new year in 2022. So talk to you guys all later. Bye.